Alrighty, welcome back to another edition of Achievement College. This is the third and final part of my What Remains of Edith Finch walkthrough, where we're going to get all of the achievements.
After
brought
Sam
to you
died,
by Aussie
my
Gamer
mom and Edie got
17.
really close. They'd both lost a lot.
So from the end of the last episode, we just head down another secret passage, and now we're going to be in Gregory and I think it was Gregory's room. First story we're going to grab is this one here, and this one really sucks, to be honest. But there is a missable achievement, so I'll show you how we're going to get that. Yeah, hard to explain.
Do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
So for now, you can move the frog around. And once we have control of the frog, we need to knock down all of the letters on the side of the bathtub on the right hand side here by jumping into them with the frog. So as soon as the baby's hand lets go, we are now controlling the frog and just using right trigger to jump. And don't worry if you don't get it done all at once. Got plenty of time. As you can see, I'm
Over, Gregory.
not the best with the frog.
Hold on, sweetie.
Alright, so now we get another go at it.
Hello? Sam?
I won't say anything else about what's about to happen. I'll just sort of take you through what we need to do. One more letter.
I wonder what he saw.
No, not the B. What you want to do is avoid popping all those bubbles with the ducks, because once you've done that, things move along a little bit. And now that we've got the letters, waiting for it to pop, there it is. Another achievement. Well on our way towards 1000 Gamerscore.
It reminded me so much of Calvin.
Alright, so now that we've got all the ducks popped, what you need to do is jump up on the side here or at the other end and knock down these Lego men.
Whatever it was he saw.
There we go. If you jump from the middle of the ducks, they actually give you a little boost so that you can jump higher. Now we want the whale. So we're trying to get up and to knock the whale in.
Sure made him happy.
And now we want to flip the whale over. So get in under it and flip it up. Now what you want to do is jump on top of the whale and use it as a bit of a trampoline or something. Gives you a bit of a boost. I'm going to jump up, knock off a few more men, but we're actually aiming for the soap up the top right hand corner. Up we go, there it is. And up on the whale again, and this time
I worried about a baby being too happy.
get a few more people down. Wait for another little scene here soon.
Babe.
Just jumping around for fun, really.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Okay, now, I don't want to do this, but it's the only way to move on the story. Jump up and turn the tap back on.
About the world he saw.
And now the inevitable is about to happen.
There's so much I don't understand. About Gregory.
And now I guess we are controlling Gregory as he's drowning / dying, unfortunately. Really sucks. For those that don't know, Gregory is actually our character's uncle, Dawn's brother. Just another member of the Finch family dying. And he was only 1 year old when he drowned in the bathtub.
And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
And that's the end of Gregory's story and another achievement if you're following along. What does that mean? That should be achievement number 6. And now we can close the book and head straight across and start Gus's story, which is Gregory and Dawn's other brother. Or Dawn's other brother, anyway.
I can't
and you
imagine
start
my mom
that.
writing poetry, and yet
by picking up this spool here with the poem, which was written by
A
Dawn.
poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea.
Now, in this
Father never
little
hit his
story,
kids, at least not very hard.
we're controlling the
day my father
kite.
said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
And you're just moving it through the letters that are finished. Alright, so we collected all those. Fly around and find some more over on the right over here.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
And there we go. A bit to the left, and it's same thing again.
I tried to
If I
talk
could
him
control
out,
the kite.
but though he'd never met her. We don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
And this is, of course, the story of how Gus died, and he's actually at a wedding. And you head over to the left here and knock all these words, or letters, sorry, off the totem
When
pole.
the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Gus obviously didn't approve of the wedding. I think this was Gus's dad remarrying or something.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
So a big storm's showing up and all the wedding guests have hidden in the tent. So you've got to wreck all this furniture here with the
Rain
kite.
came down in buckets
move
then,
to the next
but
bit.
No one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent or Dad.
Alright, once you've got it all, move to the left and get the other letters and furniture.
The thunder sounded much too close.
Making
and
a
full
big
of
mess.
angry power. But all my
And when we've
father
got all
said
that's
was,
done, we'll
"Make
move
the
further
music
left.
louder."
Over to the tent. And here we go. The wind picks up the tent and crushes Gus, I believe.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
That's the end already. No achievements in that particular story. And we'll put that back down and we'll draw little Gus.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Oh, lucky you. Alright. Now, to move along, I'm going to go to our right and then behind Gus's bed. And up a little rock climb wall.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Getting very close to the end of the game,
At the
guys.
time, it was as far away as she could get.
Now, we're going to have peephole numbers 8 and 9 coming up shortly, which will finish off that particular achievement. So another 100
My mom
Gamerscore
moved to
coming
India
our
a
way.
week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Okay, and
The house
here,
had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
go in through this door.
For a while,
Directly through the
things were
room
good. Almost normal.
and out the other door.
Last.
And here comes peephole number 8 of 9.
Beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
And again, remember to make sure you get the dialogue.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Okay, don't back out until the dialogue has finished and disappeared like that. Out we go. And one more to go. Heading around to our right, now we can climb in the window. Alright, and grab onto this rope and we climb it up. And we're going to do Milton's story. Very quick and easy one. No achievement associated with it. All we have to do is pick up this little flip book. It's pretty cool.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
And this is Milton's story. And you've just got to use the right thumbstick, or left, I can't remember now, to flick through the book, and that'll be the whole story. Nothing else to interact with. And this is where we find out that Milton actually disappeared when he was a boy. So we're not sure if he's actually dead or not. And that's it. Draw Milton in.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Just 3 stories to go really now. Okay, closing up the book. Back down the way we came. There's Milton there. Back down the rope.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
And back out the window.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
And when we go back across this bridge, we'll see a staircase on our left. Head up there.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
And now we're approaching the 9th and final peephole, and we should get the achievement of
After he
pop.
graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
So approach the door, look through the hole, wait for the dialogue, and then wait for the achievement.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
There it is. A closer look, another 100 Gamerscore. So we should have 7 achievements for 700 Gamerscore now. When we complete the game, we'll have 1 achievement left to get, which is to go back and replay Calvin's story. It only takes a minute or 2. And obviously I'll cover that in this walkthrough at the end of this video, actually. Alright, so up onto the boat and into the boat.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar.
Quite an
That
interesting
part is
story for Lewis here now. Just having a quick look in his little boat room. I've never seen that console before. Alright, so grab the letter and open that up, and that will start the story of Lewis and how he died as well.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Alright, here we go. We're actually controlling the hand with the right thumbstick. We have to use it to grab the fish, cut the head off, and then throw it up onto the conveyor belt. We basically have to just do that over and over and over again for the majority of this story.
I saw the same behavior.
And shortly, like now, that is actually Walter's imagination that we're controlling with the left thumbstick. We're controlling that little figurine walking
started small.
with the left thumbstick. So we're doing both at once now.
He'd feel his way about.
You don't have to keep up with the fish too much, but there will be certain sections where you have to chop a fish in order to pass.
Bats.
Me stopping is just me having a bit of trouble controlling both at the same time. And I went the wrong way while I wasn't looking. So back up through here. Still having trouble trying to work out how to do 2 things at once.
Things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
And here's one of the areas where you have to chop the fish to move it out of the way, and then you can go back up through the gap.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Now there's some colour starting to form.
But he found something more.
And now it's changed to more of a 3D
I worried about
space.
him then. Daydreaming at the cannery,
So this whole thing is
I spoke with
Walter's
his boss.
psychologist or
But he said
psychiatrist.
Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a
And
whole new Lewis.
it's about his imagination
So I let him go on.
while he was working at the cannery cutting fish.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
There are no achievements in
He told
this
me he'd
story
made a new
either.
friend.
So if you want to just go ahead without watching the walkthrough and experience it, go for it.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Got to cut the fish again to open the bridge.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
You only just figured that out.
so he could do whatever he wished.
Oh.
He held an election for mayor, and he won.
Of course he did.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
Okay, now
It
we
became
are
a game.
actually going to be controlling the ship as we sail along. You're going to get a couple of choices whether to go left or right.
Conquer a city, then immediately push on.
There's no consequences, whatever you choose.
New Louisville.
I'll just mix it up a little bit.
St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
You forgot to go
Even
home.
as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
That's his mum trying to get us to come home. I think it's too late though. I think he's already gone.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
So this is where you choose, left or right, doesn't matter. It'll
Handsome
all
queen.
circle back around.
the queen was on her own quest for
Sinister serpents.
sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver
Go
harp.
right this time.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Alright, and that's the end of the little
Even
boat,
then,
right?
his logic remained sound.
We're controlling Lewis again.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it.
Got to cut the fish there to open the
In
door.
his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
The poor guy, really.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
In through the little door. Now we're in first person. But we're still Walter. Coming in and out of reality,
Began to
really.
forget the world we know.
It's straight through.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Jeez. I wouldn't like to work there either.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
It's got to be done, but yeah, not for me.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Alright, we're going to head all the way to the end. So where the Queen is waiting to crown us, supposedly.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
And really, we're going to be putting our head in some sort of guillotine. Probably at the cannery.
And the rest I think you know.
Yeah, that's the end
Mrs.
of
Finch, your
Lewis.
son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
And the end of the story for Lewis. Very sad, like a lot of this game.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Yeah. Like I said, quite sad. Alright, not long to go now though. Alright, we turn around and head out the door this time. And up
On the way
even
back from
further.
Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Okay, gonna head up these little stairs. They're just behind us, so just having a
mom
little
ended
look
up leaving
around.
everything
There we
behind.
go. Up here.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
This time we're actually heading to Edith's bedroom. Up this ladder.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now was to tell you about that last night.
And all of the dialogue that we've been listening to throughout the game is all written in Edith's journal that we saw at the very start of the game. You see, got a short glimpse of her belly again there. And I'll let you work out who you think she's writing to.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Alright, so now we're in control
When my
of
mom said the
young
library, I don't think
Edith.
she knew about the other entrance.
And we're going into the library. Through
Or
this
that Edie
little
had
cupboard
to
here.
it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
The family curse, apparently.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Alright, and grab this book, interact with it, open it up.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Now we're in control of Edie, and we're just going to head out towards the house that you can
It
see in
was
the
first
distance.
and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Just keep heading straight once the fog comes in and you can't see. Head straight until we walk into a rock, or reach a rock, a big rock like this.
Around.
Head to the left, head around the rock, and then keep heading straight. I don't think you can go the wrong way here, but that's the way I've gone, and it works every time.
Seeing things.
Yep. Past that, just keep going straight.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Just head around the
When
obstacle.
I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
And approach this gate. And interact with it.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
You're actually controlling Edith's hand here. You can just move it up and down like
We
that.
both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
And there we go. That's actually the end of Edith's story as well. Seems
This
like
is where your story begins.
she may
I'm
have,
sorry I won't be there to see it.
may have
It's a lot
died
to ask,
giving birth.
but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
And now this is her son carrying her book. And he has now returned to the family home, putting flowers on his mum's grave. And that's actually the end, guys. Very sad, somber game, but quite a moving experience. Now, we still have 3 achievements to get. We're going to get 2 right here during the credits. The first one is for finishing all stories, and it's everything that ends. Should pop very, very soon. And then a second achievement is for basically for watching all the credits. It says that we need to watch until... Hang on, where's this achievement? It should be popping any moment now. I'm sure it popped on this playthrough. Come on, game. There it is. So that's the first one for completing the game. And the other one is for getting towards the end of the credits. It's for getting to the end where someone called Johan is there. So just watch the credits. In the meantime, I've got mixed feelings about the game, to be perfectly honest. Definitely worthwhile. If you are listening to this, you probably already played through watching along or just watched the whole thing, so you probably don't need to play it. But to anyone that hasn't played it or experienced it, I would recommend it. But I definitely, having gone through it twice now, I won't be going back to it. It's just like a movie that you would watch once, enjoy it, and never watch again, really. Not much interaction, really, is there? And here is Johan, or Johan, I think it's Johan. So shortly after passing his photo, we will get the achievement popping here. There it is. Thanks, Johan. See Johan's name in the ending credits. Now we should have 9 out of 10 achievements. We have 1 more to grab, and we can actually pause the game anywhere here, and it will then give us the option to replay any story in the game, and we need to replay Calvin's story. So I'm sure I'll pause it somewhere here. I just wanted to see a little bit further. There's stuff about Gregory and Gus. Okay, we can pause it there and you'll see that replay story is now available. Press OK, go down to replay a story. And then what we'll need to do once we click that is go across to Calvin. He's the one with the little rocket ship helmet on. There we go. Replay, yes. And we just need to replay the story exactly how we did earlier in the game. So, move the rope again, head up, open the helmet.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Alright, so just swinging back and forth all the way to the end again.
And he did.
I don't quite understand this
At Barbara's
achievement,
funeral,
or the
we
point of
swore
it.
We'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
At least it's very simple.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Just while
I
we're
told
waiting,
him going around
guys,
was impossible.
we've heard all this dialogue before. I really want to thank you all very much for watching
Maybe if
again.
I hadn't said that.
Hope you're enjoying Achievement College. There's going to be more and more Achievement College coming.
Maybe it's the one time.
There was a big break before I did this particular Achievement College series, but I'm going to try and stick at them a little bit more often. I've already got a plan on a game that I'm going to be doing. By the time you're listening to this, I'm hopefully getting the game tonight, and I'll start working on it for Achievement College. But I still need to finish Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. So I'm working on all of that, keeping me very, very busy.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Okay, and the achievement should pop.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
And that's going to be it, guys. That's going to be 10 achievements for 1,000 Gamerscore. It'll pop shortly after it saves here, and then I'll open up my achievements and show you that we've got them all. And there it is. Play Calvin's story again. Like I said, I'm not sure the reason for having to do that, but there it is. We've got all of the drawings, and here are the achievements. 10 out of 10, 1,000 out of 1,000. And there's the bell. That is it for another edition of Achievement College. I hope it's been very helpful. I hope you guys have followed along and got that gamer score. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you're enjoying it or if it helped out, remember to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you like this and you want more Achievement College or more real walkthroughs, please check out my Patreon and consider supporting me there if you are at all able. But until then, class dismissed.